Hello viewers and welcome to my YouTube channel. On today's news, the United States has accused Russia of breaching the global ban on chemical weapons by using the choking agent chloropecrine against Ukrainian soldiers and deploying riot control agents as a method of warfare in Ukraine. The use of such chemicals is not an isolated incident and is probably driven by Russian forces' desire to dislodge Ukrainian forces from fortified positions and achieve tactical gains on the battlefield. The State Department said in a statement on Wednesday that also announced new sanctions against entities linked to Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine. Chloropecrine, a nearly colorless oily liquid which causes severe irritation to the eyes, skin, and lungs, was used in large quantities during World War I, according to the U.S.'s National Institute for Occupational Health and Safety. While it continues to be used as an agricultural pesticide, its use in war is banned under the 1993 Chemical Weapons Convention, CWC. Russia has said it no longer possesses a military chemical arsenal, but the country faces pressure for more transparency over its alleged use of toxic chemicals. In addition to chloropecrine, Russian forces have used grenades loaded with CS and CN gases, the Reuters news agency reported earlier this month, citing the Ukrainian military. It added that at least 500 Ukrainian soldiers had been treated for exposure to toxic substances, and one died after suffocating on tear gas. Gundos Mamedov, the deputy prosecutor general in Ukraine until 2021, posted on social media on April 24 that the Russian army had used tear gas against Ukrainian forces at least 900 times over the previous 6 months, with more than 1,400 incidents since it began its full-scale invasion in February 2022. While civilians can usually escape such gases during protests, soldiers confined to trenches without gas masks are forced to either flee under enemy fire or risk suffocation. The State Department said Moscow's use of chloropecrine and ongoing disregard for the CWC comes from the same playbook as its operations to poison Alexei Navalny and Sergei and Yulia Skripal with Novichok nerve agents. Navalny, who died suddenly in an Arctic prison colony in February, was poisoned with Novichok in 2020. Sergei Skripal, a former Russian military intelligence agent given asylum in the United Kingdom, survived an assassination attempt in 2018 that also almost killed his daughter. A British police officer who investigated the case also became severely ill. While Dawn Sturgis, a woman who was inadvertently given the discarded bottle that contained the poison, died for months later after spraying herself with the liquid thinking it was a perfume. The British government concluded that the Russian state was almost certainly behind the attack. Moscow denied involvement in both the Skripal and Navalny poisonings. The U.S. statement said it was sanctioning 3 Russian state entities linked to Moscow's chemical and biological weapons programs, including a specialized military unit that facilitated the use of chloropecrine against Ukrainian troops. For Russian companies that support the 3 entities were also sanctioned, it added. The sanctions freeze any U.S. assets belonging to the targeted entities and generally prohibit Americans from doing business with them. Separately, the U.S. Treasury imposed sanctions on 3 entities and 2 individuals involved in purchasing items for Russian military institutes involved in the country's chemical and biological weapons programs. The sanctions were among a number of new measures targeting Russia over its 2022 full-scale invasion of Ukraine. The CWC bans the production and use of chemical weapons. It also requires the 193 countries that have ratified the convention, which include Russia and the U.S., to destroy any stocks of banned chemicals. Russia and Ukraine have accused each other of breaching the Treaty and Organization for the Prohibition of Chemical Weapons OPCW meetings in 2022. The organization expressed concern about reports that Russia has used chemical weapons in its assault on the port of Mariupol, but it says it has not been formally asked to open any investigation into the use of prohibited substances in Ukraine. Thanks for watching and please subscribe to our YouTube channel.